I'm your host, Roddy Too Good. Back at it again with another. Hey yo. So, listen, man. Let's start this from the beginning because what happened on Friday definitely was nasty work. You know what I'm saying? But let's go. Let's start before Friday. I'm gonna give you like a little story. So, Michael Cole, one of the legendary announcers for WWE, he had did an interview, and I think it was it with Chris? I think it was with Chris Van Lee. I don't know. I'm not certain, but I think it was with somebody. I want to say it was with Chris Van Lee. But so he did an interview. It was going kind of going everywhere, kind of going. A lot of talking points was built on this interview because one he said this very interesting thing. He said that this is the reason why Netflix got us. He said we haven't been a wrestling show. We haven't been a wrestling show in years. We're here. The Netflix got us because we tell stories. We are storytelling business. We haven't been a wrestling company in years. Um, this is one of the main problems. This is one of the main problems when you have a wrestling company and the last thing on your mind is the actual wrestling. Fam, last night was a prime example of what that happens. Even The Rock too. He said he came out basically saying like, "Yo, me and Cody have a story to where it doesn't even have to be a thing in the ring." Excuse me. Why are we doing this then? why are we why are we participating in this thing called wrestling? You know what I'm saying? Why don't y'all just make a show? Why don't y'all just make a soap opera, a drama, reality TV? Why don't y'all just get out of the business of wrestling if that's not your main focus? It's plenty of other things you could do, man. Plenty of other things you could do other than wrestling. Like I said, you could do reality TV. You could do a show. You could do some type of drama, like a soap opera or something. But why make storytelling a priority in a wrestling show? That's something that I'm totally against. Listen, man, wrestling is fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? The wrestling, and I think that a lot of people are running with this narrative that the story is the one that stories get new fans to come in. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. The biggest, that's the biggest myth in wrestling, that story, like that people who are not interested in wrestling stories are the thing that catches their eye and that brings them in. Absolutely not. It's the pure violence that gets people in. That is with every sport. The reason why people like boxing, people like casual fans love knockouts. That's why a lot of the casual fans, they probably don't like somebody like a Floyd Mayweather or Shakur Stevenson. Why? Because those are sweet science technical boxers. So a person who really loves boxing will really appreciate that because it's defense, it's technical, and it's a lot harder than going out there and just punching somebody as hard as you can and they flying on the floor. So when you look at that, when you look at hockey, same thing. They love the fights, they love the big hits. So when you got people who are really technically sound, they don't really like those guys. Same thing with a bunch of other sports. You know what I'm saying? But when we get to wrestling, bro, wrestling is where drama and fighting meets. So the storylines are important, but they're not more important than the wrestling. Because at the end of the day, the story is to get eventually to the wrestling. So, and why would that not matter? I have zero clue. I have zero clue when did this become a thing to where the stories matter more than the wrestling because that's what's selling the ticket. That's what's bringing people in. You know what I'm saying? And nostalgia brings a lot of people in because wrestling is something to where a lot of people just a lot of people as kids, all everybody wrestling has been a part of everybody's life. during a certain amount of time, and you could tell how old somebody is if you just really ask them, "Yo, who's your favorite wrestler?" Like, you know what I'm saying? You ask them that, you kind of tell what era they grew up in. So, with that being said, we get to The Rock, and The Rock came out. You know, he dropped one of the weirdest segments in the world. Like, one of the weirdest segments in the world, one of the most like random things too. Like, people want The Rock, and this is the weird part about WWE, because they rely so much on nostalgia. Like, you know what I'm saying? They'll tell you how stacked their roster is. They'll tell you how this is a huge wrestling boom, and this is better than the Attitude Era, and that Attitude Era was overrated and all that stuff. But they continue to use people from that era, and The Rock is one of them. Like, The Rock is one of them. Like, even Triple H himself. Like, you know what I'm saying? The whole um, ECW tributes they be doing and all this. Like, they continue to use this nostalgia thing to really get the fans hype. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because when you hear somebody like The Rock is a A-list superstar. Like, period. Like, he could be in any movie he possibly probably want to. But we all know him. Like, he's one of them guys to where when you say wrestling, you most likely will say The Rock. So they want him to continuously save WWE. Like, you know what I'm saying? Save it from whatever is going on. Oh, snap. People not feeling the road to WrestleMania this year. Come on, The Rock. Can you please help us? Like, yo, it's like, why can't you use all these amazing superstars you got on your roster? Is it a thing that you can't use them, or is it a thing you refuse to use them? Because it's easy to throw the Rock. I guarantee you the numbers from SmackDown this past Friday is going to be amazing, because The Rock, it was on it, he was announced, and people will just give him the benefit of the doubt. They would just click on just to see what he's going to say or see what's going to happen. It was trash. People bashed it. It's like, but the fact is, they still probably got like what, 1 million or 2 million viewers or rating viewers just from last night, just because he was going to be on the show. So we have to really, really understand what's going on, because I grew up probably at the end of the Attitude Era, going into the Ruthless Aggression, and then like the PG. Like that, I think that I stopped watching when it was like kind of like the PG, and I got back into wrestling like probably like a year or two ago, like very recently. Like now, and then now I'm full fledged into it now. So but even if you go back, let's say Ruthless Aggression era, we talk about they talk about the SmackDown 6. These people were pure, amazing wrestlers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes were, yeah, stories was fire, but the fact that they was in the ring just as much as they were in a promo and stuff like that, like, that's what captivates fans. That's what get people to be interested. Because the one thing everybody could agree, the one thing everybody hates to agree is that they like some level of violence. Like, you know what I'm saying? And when you see people get beat up, hit with chairs, slashed through tables, and like them extreme matches and all that, that's why a lot of the Attitude Era stuff was just so big, because it was a lot of violence. Like, take it for instance, Jerry Springer show, no substance, like nothing really you could really take away from that for real. But it was violent. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was violent. You could see the reality shows. The reason why the reality shows are so popular, because they have some level of drama and violence. That's what it is, bro. Like, yo, storytelling, like, the violence gets casuals interest. The stories make casuals diehards. That's what we got to see. Like, that's real. So, hey man, all I gotta say is this: The Rock, he can't save SmackDown, bro. Y'all gonna have to figure something out. The story, that whole model y'all got right now, WWE, where the stories matter more than the wrestling, which makes zero sense to me, bro. Because when I came up, wrestling was fire, bro. Like the matches was amazing. So for y'all to sit there and be like, "Oh, these promos and all that stuff," like, oh man, listen, bro, I was there. Like, you know what I'm saying? The matches was fire. But comment down below. Tell me what y'all think about it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, man. Join the family. We on the road to 200 subscribers. Peace. I'm out, man.